name's Fernie, she says.
Fernie.
I'll work hard, she says.
Yes, I'm sure you will. The first thing that we're going to work hard at doing together is cleaning out Gaedran's old hut of loot.
All right.
Into our huts in the slough, where it's safe.
Well, if you got the key, then you could just stay there in the hut.
The hut where children get eaten.
I think Gaedran slept there before. Nothing happened to him.
You think Gaedran eats the children?
No, I don't think so. He's got a bad gut.
Yes, he's got a weird flap in it.
Oh, that's Gaedran's pouch.
What else does he put in the pouch?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know. She gives you a look like that's gross.
We'll rip it open and shake it out.
Yeah.
All right.
Fair enough.
Good job, child.
She smiles.
I'm sure there's a place for you.
And goes up to the table and
Probably
snatches another cookie and goes back to her spot. All right, are you going to be the master snatchers now?
No, I don't think we're going to be as dangerous as that.
We're acclaimed scholars and musicians and miners and also bugs. Not snatchers.
We're going to find a way out of this slum of a city. We're going to find a place that's green again and safe.
You're all right. The manor ain't too safe.
Yes, it is green though, which is nice.
There's something there they feed us to. I never got a glimpse at it, but the Boggart said that it was always hungry for children.
Yes. We might go back there, but we won't take you.
Something about the old twisted lord of the manor?
Yes, he who waits to eat.
She nods.
Yeah, that?
Yep.
Yes. Well, you'll have to wait longer.
Poor Sally and Mo got ate. Bunch of the others too, I think.
What do you know about Zellara's son?
He never got ate at the manor. I think he got disappeared at the hut.
No.
Went to the hut and never saw him again.
Right, well, when everyone else gets up, we'll go through the hut and clean it out into the slough, and then find you a place to work.
She nods. All right.
Good.
Do you want me to wait here?
Well, while we're waiting for people to wake up, yes. When we go into the hut, no, you'll come into the hut with us.
Everyone wakes up, they prepare their spells, they have breakfast, this conversation is happening then.
We saw 4 pieces of horse abdomen out.
Yeah, you were
Yeah.
going to make a table out of...
2-inch sort of discs, cross sections.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, there were enough woodworkers' tools and saws that you saw.
I'm actually a pretty good craft woodworking.
Okay.
Yeah,
so Bark Wilder was turning creatures into petrified wood via this wand the party now has, and he had a
paladin's horse.
like an inquisitor or paladin's horse that he turned into wood, then sawed in half, and it was just kind of lying in his little lair. So I think
I'm going to take 4 cross sections of that.
Nice.
And then tongue and groove sort of joint them together into a 4-section table that's mostly round.
Yep.
It'll probably have little lobes like a fat 4-leaf clover.
Yep.
And then I'm going to stick 4 legs on it.
Nice.
The horse's legs.
The horse's legs.
So we're going to saw the horse's legs off.
You guys were all woken up by very determined sawing. Manny ended up helping you with his strength, like saw here, as the two of you were sawing horse bits apart. All of your spells are prepared. I'm assuming you're now 4th level. What are you guys doing?
Professor.
Yes.
I think with that wand, we should Well, we should rip the magic bag out of Gaedran's innards.
Yes, of course.
And then I think we
we'll do
should
that.
turn him to wood.
Oh, that's
Do you
a
think it
capital
works on dead things?
There's one way to find out.
I would love to carve up Gaedran.
Yes, well, it's a bit sadistic, but I appreciate the sentiment. Tech, perhaps you could help us with removing that pouch from him.
I think it's more delicate work.
Oh, well, let me have a look here. I'm an old, shameless man whose body is failing him as the days go.
Cut around it and
Okay, give me a knowledge arcana or a spellcraft check as you're looking at the.
Let's see what we have here.
Can I aid him on that?
Yep.
I'll aid you as well on that.
Okay, you're standing around poking at the body. He's foul smelling.
Are those aids successful?
My aid is successful. I
auto
auto-aid.
aid on both of those skills.
15, 17.
I also auto aid on both of those skills.
25.
Okay, this is called a flesh graft.
Ooh, a flesh graft, yes.
He had this magic item kind of grafted into his flesh so that he has a pouch, and the pouch is the thing that maintains the properties. You would have to remove the flesh and then graft it onto somebody else.
I suppose we can take it if we want
Graft it
to.
on anyone else. I just don't want to lose it.
Yes, well, I suppose we'll remove it.
Yeah, let's take some pieces of wood. I'm gonna use a dagger to open up the flap,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna chuck some pieces of wood in.
Yeah, they disappear into it like a bag of holding.
All right, shake it out.
Okay,
Just
Okay,
empty
you
the
kinda-
thing.
You kind of like push it out, and
yeah, I'm not being like squeamish about it.
you kind of twist the flap inside out, and then all this stuff kind of like starts falling out of the flap.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Including 3 wands and
Some
a
chunks
bunch
of wood?
and a bunch of vials and the chunks of wood.
Ah, yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 17 different vials or alchemical things, and 3 wands come tumbling out of the pouch,
Oh,
plus the wood that you just put in.
Nice.
Well, that's some find over there.
Oh, good.
I will work on removing the pouch from Gaedran.
So,
He doesn't have to survive this.
no, he doesn't.
Wow.
This would be a survival check to butcher it and kind of cut around it, or there'd be a heal check to perform surgery to remove the flesh.
I will look at it for a bit and remember the bug doing a pretty good job of skinning Bark Wilder and dissecting him, and I will coach the bug on what I'm
You
asking
want
him
to
to do.
keep pouch as trophy.
Yes, trophy of our great hunt.
Okay, he busily goes about butchering the thing without pausing.
Just the bag, though. Leave the rest of him intact if you can. We have
We'll
plans.
say it's a DC 20 to get the pouch off without damaging it. You can aid this.
Oh, do I even want to try?
He has a plus 11 survival.
Yeah.
You could use heal checks or knowledge nature or
Oh, knowledge nature. Yeah.
survival to help him do the surgery.
Can I?
I
Help
have,
with knowledge nature.
What do I
I
have
have
to?
a plus 9, so just don't roll a 1, right?
No, 1 means you auto aid. So
Okay, so I auto aid.
All right, I'm going to see if I aid
think
him.
he's got
with
3
knowledge
okay,
nature.
so now you're defiling Bark Wilder's nice table, and you've got Gaedran's body splayed against it, and you guys are trying to cut the flap out. Now this won't let you put it on somebody else, but it will let you keep the magic of the graft, and then
Can I just use it as a bag of holding?
a
Might
very
have to be
gross one,
grafted.
and then you're gonna have to find a way to keep the flesh from rotting. You're gonna have to preserve it somehow.
Okay, but in the meantime, it can be just a gross bag of holding.
In the meantime, it could be a slowly rotting bag of holding. Yes.
I wonder if this would be sort of the bartender. The bartender wanted a cut.
A cut!
This is great. This is great. It would be great for a bartender to have a fleshcraft bag of holding, right?
Yes, or perhaps one of the ladies of the manor back there.
All right, so it sounds like there are 3.
I don't know how you do it, but
Sounds like there are 3 aides.
Yeah,
On
he
top
got
of
a
check-
25.
At 25? Okay, so
Yeah.
you have this very gross bag of holding, effectively. It's not a very big bag of holding, because, like, putting 20 pounds around your waist, I guess is... Like, I guess you could walk around with that.
Gross bag of holding. How many pounds?
Yeah, call it a flesh-graft small bag of holding.
Flesh graft.
It weighs 7 pounds and can hold 125 pounds or 15 cubic feet.
that's good.
And it's really sneaky. Like, this would be the type of thing you could really sleight of hand things out of easily. You're just kind of touching the belly button.
I'm old and my
Maybe
body's
you don't want
gross.
I'm old and my body's gross.
I feel like I don't really have a problem with this sort of thing.
Well, you may have to find the flesh crafter who put this on. Gaedran, maybe you could have it grafted onto yourself.
I'll detect magic on Gaedran now, see if there's anything.
There's no more magic, and in fact, at this point in time, Mokrenom Gobbler is asking whether or not he can eat Gaedran.
Gaedran, say for eating or for keeping.
I think, hold off for a moment. Firstly, I believe you had a bit of an idea.
Yeah, I want to turn him into wood and then carve him into a statue.
No.
So if you want, you could chop off a couple pieces and feed it.
Well,
I don't need the whole thing.
I think we.
Why don't we turn him into wood first, and then
Okay,
chop off some of the wood?
He's kind of like lying back on the table, splayed out with a big slice of his.
Oh yeah.
Belly
We need to
missing.
pose him better.
Alright, so I'm getting flashbacks of Weekend from Bernie's right now. What are you doing with Gaedran? What pose are you putting the body of Gaedran in?
We'll just hang him with ropes. I kind of want him in a pose, kind of like let's say like this,
Okay.
standing.
Standing.
Okay, so you kind of push him against the wall.
He's standing. He's got his hands like this.
He's completely naked at this point because you've taken everything off of him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. Oh, let's see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's good.
Okay,
A little bit of his guts are
Hands
showing,
down
like
here.
you have to kind of keep on pushing his guts back in because you shaved off part of his belly to get the pouch.
Shall we give it a try?
Yeah, I think so. This is fantastic.
Take out the wand.
This is gonna be so good.
Use one of the ones per day. Looks like DC is 17, or that's the DC to resist it.
Yeah.
Is there a UMD check I have to do to see if this thing works?
No.
Maybe it won't work.
I will use it on him.
Who knows?
Or
I
attempt
think
to.
Stone to Flesh is on the or Flesh to Stone is on the Magus list.
Yeah. Oh, Flesh of Stone, Wizard 6,
Okay.
Mage of 6.
He gets no saving throw. He
Turns into wood.
Ah, it worked!
You have a wood statue of a disemboweled.
Gaedran.
Ah, well.
He's got this weird look as he's staring off into space. His hands are in an awkward position, and his guts are kind of hanging out a little bit. He should have taken the penis. It's small and old, and his balls hang really low.
Oh, perfect. He got himself.
Does his balls hang like sleeve of wizard?
Very low. Very old man low. Manny chuckles a little bit. Now what are you going to do with it?
It's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some time.
He says
I'm
to
gonna make a
halfling you,
memorial.
remind me never to make an enemy of the fey creature.
A memorial to all of the children and fairies that Gaedran cut their lives short.
Well, they don't wobble to and fro anymore. They are wooden.
How much time is time?
Yeah, this probably surgery. You're probably like 10 o'clock in the morning at this point.
But how long is it going to take him to carve him into something?
Oh, I'll do it at home.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think next we go through the door to the fantastic place.
Yes, the place
The
of many
beautiful hut.
treasures.
Yes,
And take it over to the professor's place here.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes, my notes are there. We should definitely retrieve them soon, though they're damaged.
Do you know how we get back?
We can try it again, but I better not touch it this time.
Ooh, I have seen the inside because I flew in so that I could look at the door from the inside. That's why I did it.
Ooh.
So that when we got the key, we could go to that marvelous hut.
Maybe.
We saw something last night while you were asleep, Pharisee. The string we found in the sewers that belonged to one of the children Gaedran kidnapped?
Yeah.
That has been leading us?
Yeah.
Well, it attached itself to the wand, and Zellara showed us something. Us using the wand and walking through the door. I don't know if it meant to Gaedran's hut or to where, but perhaps...
Well, I had a dream last night of turning over cards. In,
At a cauldron?
I think it was by this cauldron. Yes, I think that was in Gaedran's hut.
Well, I do not know if it was in Gaedran's hut, but I had the same dream in front of a cauldron.
Well, let's.
Was there a cauldron in Gaedran's hut?
Yes.
Yes?
Shall we use the special key then and see where it takes us?
Yes, let's pop in for a bit and see what's up. We should probably come back to this mansion at some point. There may be quite a few interesting things left here.
I think so.
Pixel joins in excitement, does a
Yeah,
perfect
and
little pirouette in the
angry
sky, in the air,
Yes, that's true.
flies over to Pharisee.
Interesting things and a monster.
Yes.
Oh.
Mokrenom slides onto Zephyrus's shoulder.
Always.
Well, shall we, Luudo? The bag?
Manny glances at the professor, glances at Luudo, and is watching very carefully.
Can I sort of wrap my hand in a linen or something before I grab it?
Sure.
I've realized the hold that it has on me, and I don't know if I want to explore that.
Okay.
Pick it up.
You've got one of your dirty socks around your hand, and you're grabbing the thing.
I grab it up.
Oh, the power still courses through you. It courses through the linen.
What are you doing, Luudo? We haven't touched.
You can see the little red yarn wrapped around the key, and it's kind of just waving aimlessly in the air.
Off of it or off? Oh, yeah.
It's wrapped around it, but there's a little end of it that's sort of waving around. The yarn that represented Zelara's, that came from the scarf worn by Zelara's son.
Can I try and remove that?
Okay, you pull at it, and eventually it kind of tugs off, and then it wraps around your finger.
Okay, I'd much rather have it there.
Okay. It's now pointing at the key, though.
Right, which is fine.
Luudo, what are you doing?
I'm worried that this thing might hold some memories, and we might end up in a place we are not expecting to end up.
Well, we still have to walk through the door, right?
This is true.
Let's open it and see what's there.
We can't
Alright.
complete our contract until we've put Zellara to rest.
But we cannot walk through the door unless we open it.
Alright, Ludo's going
Very
to
good point.
pose the wand, press it against the
Okay.
Did you
door.
put
So
the
the door
string
doesn't
back on?
have a
It's on my
keyhole,
finger.
but when you bring the wand close to it, it's almost like a blue keyhole opens. Like the door has a hidden keyhole. It's the same blue as that has surrounded that the gate seems to be made out
They
of.
didn't do that the first time.
And there's like sort of like a tumbler sound or a tinkling of key sound as the shaft of the key of infinite doors twists in various directions and new keys form and other ones disappear in, and the head of the key looks like it's now glowing blue and looks like can fit this particular door's keyhole.
I can look back at it. For the record, it didn't do that the first time I did this, but
No, it didn't.
What do you say? We try it out?
Put it in and turn it. Yes.
He's going to continue to push it into that hole.
Okay. The door sort of pushes open, and you see the blue outline kind of wrapped around the door first, and then it pushed open, and you can see into the hut.
Aha!
I do that. Woo, okay. Let's get in there then.
Alright.
I'm gonna...
Take Gaedran's statue and the cross sections of the horse.
Manny sighs and grabs the cross sections. Are you leaving the orphan girl here?
Urchin, grab the saw. Take it with us.
Okay.
Street urchin! Hey, got a
Gives you a
strap!
little pout, but doesn't argue with the Fey people. And the whole group of you, let me copy the urchin, and then we need to change maps. And I'm thinking that I may run the server off of a different computer, given how often we're going to be doing this.
Called it a dessert.
Yeah, right.
We know he was fed the appetizer, and I poisoned his dinner.
Alright, we are at the hut.
Desi.
Dizzy, there you go.
And I'm going to paste a bunch of you into the hut.
No, it's Fernie?
Bernie.
Yes, I can remember Fernie. I'm a little bit Fernie myself.
What I don't have is pixel for some reason.
Oops. I need burn cap.
Hut interior.
Mind the bear.
Ooh.
Unsure of it.
Okay. Immediately when you said that, whether it is that you, because you said it, or Tech Cyrax saw something, he is crouched down into like a combat stance,
What is
and is pointing his weapons towards the bear.
Oh. Is there something wrong with the bear?
It has moved.
Oh.
It's ever so slightly
It has.
off direction a little bit, and a few inches over. And you notice that one of the tables is slightly budged.
Well, this is not good. It was just over there earlier.
Gaedran's wooden corpse is brought in, and something like, I don't know, 2d4 rounds later, the door closes.
As soon as I walk through the door, do I see my notes?
Yeah, there's this big pile of stuff, including your broken halves of your desk and some of and one of the legs broken off of it. A bunch of your notes scattered about the room haphazardly in various states of repair and being spoiled, as well as a bunch of other things that are important to the party.
What else is different here at Tech, other than the rug?
I'll just run up to the notes and immediately get deep into them.
He points at the cat who's napping in the chair.
Do we find our stolen items?
Yes, I'm going to start putting things from this sheet that I have in my DM area
Into treasure.
Does that include the wands and vials we found?
Yeah. So
We probably would have wanted to divvy those up at the start of the day when they got spewed out of that bag.
Alright, so I've copied and pasted a bunch of the gear, including Gaedran's gear. I don't know how much you're taking from like the Mystic Alchemy Lab and the bag of dragon teeth and the shawl and the giant polar bear
We're
thing.
taking that bag of dragon teeth.
Okay, so
The bag, yeah.
It creates skeletons.
Yeah.
Unkillable skeletons.
I mean, it's a bit of a liability, but I think it's cooler to have it than not to have it.
I mean, yeah, I think it definitely. It's gonna cause some chaos somewhere.
I bet that we could, depending on how it's structured, we could win a duel in the downstairs by challenging someone to duel one of those skeletons. Yeah. And they'll never be able to kill it.
No.
They'll have to give up or starve.
Our champion.
Yes, and then we would win. Unless they're really clever like we were and scatter it too effectively. But something to think about.
Alright, so I put a bunch of things next to identify. Remember that gold label bottle of wine? It's actually magical. is what you discover. So there's a bunch of things that you need to go through. And then what are you taking off of the tables? Are you having a closer look at what is in the... the stolen treasures. Yes, you find a ripe dragon fruit. You find the Fant medicine bag, the Fant staff, Luudo's sword and manual were already taken. The ancient puzzle box, the professor's notes, about 2/3 of them remain.
Can I prestidigitate the dirty ones?
You could do some salvaging of the notes, but some of them have been destroyed, and yes, you can prestidigitate over a long period of time. It could be the thing that you're doing during downtime or
I'm immediately like, I ignore everything else in the room and I'm just like kneeling amongst the notes.
Okay.
So just to check, is it so it's my staff and the
medicine
bag?
Yep.
Okay.
Go ahead and put those back on your character sheet. There is a very ripe dragon fruit. It's almost like he forgot that he took it. It's still edible, or still usable. The puzzle box is still there. Are you moving that back to your character sheet?
Yeah.
And then your professor's research notes.
Yes.
2/3.
Okay.
You find some scrolls in that scroll case, some magical bandages, a weird magical suit of mail, and then a bunch of the treasures that was all in the mound of stuff at the center of the room. You're starting to sift through it a little bit. What are the rest? What are you doing? Okay, so you guys spend 15 minutes going through this stuff, finding the things that are missing. Cyrax just stays by the door.
I think once I've got my dragon fruit, I'm more interested in this special hut.
Okay.
And so I want to take a look at the cauldron and just generally sort of what is this? What is this?
I kind of want to know what each of you are doing. So those that haven't already explored the hut, so Fairsay, where are you going first?
Yes. First, I'll go to the I'll take a look at the crafting benches.
Okay. They have tools and crafting spots where you're pretty sure you could do all standard type of magical crafting. So wondrous items. Okay. You even see small items that look like they might be even
partly in progress, kind of, or
what you're missing is a place to heat
metal. That's the only part about this is missing, but it does look like somebody spends time here assembling magic items. This is like half a crafting lab. Okay. And the tools are actually magical in that they would give you bonuses to your rolls.
Yeah. Nice.
So we'll call it a mystic crafting benches.
Nice.
Similarly, the Mystic Alchemy Lab, you're guessing from Luudo. Actually, you probably need to identify these things to get their magical properties.
Yeah, I'm going to move from the crafting benches around to the cursory look at the bed, and then over to the chair with the cat.
The bed is magical.
Oh.
I'm assuming the people that have detect magic are detecting magic.
Yeah.
The bed has enchantments about it.
Ooh, magical bed.
Is it the fart pillow?
I think I'm not going to sleep on the magical bed until I know what the magical bed does. I'll make a note of that.
You get the sense that the bed was made by and for giants.
Yes, very big. Typical.
Looks comfy.
Yes.
Zephyros, what are you looking at?
Zephyros moved to this corner, and he's going to cast Detect Secret Doors to see if he can see anything along the side here. I'm just doing a range check to see. Okay. You should be able to cover up until there. I think it's going to be a cone, right? So something around like that or something.
All right. So while you're scanning with your detect secret doors, is this from a wand or is this from your actual caster?
It's from my actual caster.
Okay. There is the presence of secret doors when you pointed at that back wall with the cauldron. And there is also the presence of secret doors when you pointed at the bear.
Can I point detect secret doors at multiple locations?
Yeah, you can kind of scan around with it, I think.
Yep.
Okay, so I didn't need multiple detect secret doors to scan the room.
Unless... No, I think the answer is no.
Okay, so I'll take one off my sheet, and I didn't realize that.
On the first round, as you concentrate in an area, you detect the presence or absence of secret doors. On the second round, you determine the number of them and the exact location. And each additional round, you determine the mechanism or trigger for one of the particular secret doors.
Oh, just for one of them.
Each round,
Each round.
additional round.
Each additional round.
And
Okay,
this lasts for 4 minutes, so you've got 40 rounds.
Okay, so I'll just keep doing that and identify all of them.
Okay, so Zephyros, you end up moving to the back, and on the other side of the fire, deep at the back, you see the outline of a. The spell reveals an outline of a small doorway at the back of the fireplace.
Okay.
And you know the thing that opens the door is a particular. Let me just read the spell. The mechanism or trigger for one partially saved. There is a particular item that opens the door.
Probably gonna be a key, right?
No, it is a. It's an iron spoon.
And is the spoon in the hut?
You kind of know that it's a particular magical iron spoon that will make the door open.
Okay. So of course, Zephyros tells the party all of the stuff that he discovers and uncovers, so that we can make informed decisions about it.
Okay. Are you looking at the next secret door you detected underneath the polar bear rug?
Yes.
Okay, so you know that in order to see the secret door, you need to move the polar bear rug.
How heavy is the polar bear rug?
When you bend down to go to touch it, you hear the polar bear rug growl.
I just want to do a check here.
You're like, you were just about to touch it.
Do I think it's more than... Oh, it's not an unattended object, never mind, because it's growling. I tell the rest of the party that there's something underneath the giant polar bear rug. We need to move it.
Professor finds notes that are not his, mixed in with your notes and written on top of your notes, like he had no respect for the paper that your notes were written on.
This horrid creature.
There's a weird drawing of a circle with some squiggles in it. And in the margins, he's like, what does this mean?
Defacing my property, stealing, thievery, defecation.
Do I recognize it from anywhere?
It's something arcane. Zephyros, you continue to concentrate. Underneath the bear rug, there is a hatch. The hatch has powerful wards on it, and you must perform a ritual to open the hatch.
We don't know what the ritual is, do we?
The mechanism or trigger for one particular secretly closed portal examined by you. Nope, you know that the ritual manipulates the lock, the magical lock on top of the trap door, and it will open.
You catch glimpses of the ritual through your spell.
Okay, so
But
can I?
But not enough to like enact the ritual. You know the mechanism or trigger, you just don't know how to do the ritual. Somebody wanted to guard that hatch very well.
Okay. Would it help if I keep focusing on it?
You focus for a few more moments and you don't get any additional information. You can give me a spellcraft
Or a knowledge arcana check, though.
Okay, let me check which one is higher. I think they're both the same for me. Plus 12, plus 12, yeah, they're the same. I'll give you a spellcraft check. Is anybody able to aid me on this?
Do we have? Are we involved enough to?
I don't know, that's what I'm asking.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty deep into the papers right now.
Okay, so it's 1d20 plus 12, spellcraft check. The 30?
You know that part of the ritual involves casting a spell with the teleportation sub-school in it.
Whew.
And it could be any teleportation
Sub-school spell.
Okay, I'm just going to write this down.
The ritual, to those that perhaps know it, might not be that long, but it's enough where
It's involved.
the professor finds.
How do I open it? And then complaints about the damn stupid bear wakes up, and quick sketches of this, and then you actually find maybe can't wait to get the archaeologist spelled wrong.
Damn it.
Archaeologist.
Let's see what was,
And you suspect you found what Gaedran wanted you for,
let's see what
To
was
figure out the ritual to open the secret door?
to figure out what this thing means.
so important about stealing my notes.
In one of the margins it says, "Her treasures must be great."
I will
Capital H.
take out. I'll search around in my notes for a book with blank pages in it, and I will cast Page-Bound Epiphany, and I will magically scour the world's libraries for information that might refresh my memory on the topic of what this scribble was he has.
Page-bound Epiphany. Okay, so I think I need to read this spell.
It's called page-bound, one word.
Dash in between them.
Okay, it's a one-round casting.
A book with blank pages. You can spend up to 1 round per caster level reading these notes. You may cease reading at any time. You can immediately make 1 knowledge check with a +1 circumstance bonus for each round you spent.
Studying the book. Maximum 10. Okay, what is the topic or the question that you're asking?
I recognize this as an arcane symbol, it seems. I heard Zephyro saying something about this a ritual. I'm going to ask it. I guess ask just what this symbol is. Just trying to get a general idea of what it is he was so concerned with that he stole all my shit and pooped on my notes for.
Okay, what is this thing?
Yeah.
Great, give me,
So you spend.
you notice that
This book
as part of the casting, the spell lights up like something's writing on the pages. Like you could hear thousands of scritching noises on the pages.
I'm gonna
It lights
keep an
up.
eye on that.
He then sort of begins to flip through the book really quickly, and he's like trying to grasp knowledge as the book is flipping through the pages really quickly. A couple of times he tries to stop it, but it keeps on flipping. It gets to the end. He studies it for about a minute. The book closes, and then there's this light that goes around the edges of the closed book, almost like it's undoing the knowledge that he got, or undoing the stuff that got placed upon the pages. You did see the drawing, the shitty drawing that Gaedran had appear several times on the page, or variants of those appear.
Yes, well,
Give me a knowledge arcana with the appropriate bonus.
let's see what we have. 32. Ah, of course, right, I remember now.
It's an elaborate dimensional lock. Typically used by night hags to guard portals to Hades.
That is good information.
With a 30, yup. There's probably some short ritual or short command words, and usually it requires a sacrifice to open. It could be a minor one. As in Luudo's a minor?
Yeah. I don't
No.
like that.
As in children are minors.
As in, Manny will not eat
But that
meat
works
today.
too.
Oh, I see.
I thought
Okay.
it was the minor.
And oh yeah, I guess the children, yes. And you learn that it requires a word, a sacrifice, and a spell. And you already now know what the spell is. It doesn't appear that this one isn't picky, it just wants to eat a spell from the teleportation sub-school. The sacrifice is a life, and it can be small. Like, it doesn't have to be a
Yeah.
person. It could be a budgie or
Or a
an
cat.
insect or a cat.
Ah, well,
And then the word, you don't know, but what you do know with a 32 is that typically hidden into each of the drawings is the secret word.
Wow. We're pretty close to being able to open this.
It may take some research and deciphering to figure out that word.
I will.
And now you realize that Gaedran knew enough that perhaps he chose the right person.
Look, all I'll say is,
I figured it out in fucking
I
5
don't
seconds.
think we need to open a portal to Hades today.
Well, yes, I mean, we don't know the
I
word yet.
agree with that. That seems about a fair assumption to me.
Does anyone have a teleportation spell handy?
As it happens, I do not. But that is not the only hidden door in this place. There is another behind the cauldron.
Okay, so Cyrax Gat has been squaring off with the dire polar bear rug since it moved, and well, since he told you it moved, but when it grunted and actually let out some hot breath, he's been like poised to attack it throughout this entire time, unmoving or slowly moving like a mantis kind of thing. Okay, cat's lying down and just bathing itself. You notice that it's got a gold collar around its neck, and when you look at it, in Sylvan it says, Vladimir, hey, wait a second, how did the gold collar get back on the cat's?
That's what I'm wondering.
You checking your pocket?
Yeah.
It's gone?
I took that color off of that cat, I swear to God.
The gods.
I'll say in Sylvan, hello, Vladimir.
The color changes all the
Sure.
names. It's very odd.
It goes back to cleaning its paw.
Because I see it in yin.
How familiar does this look to you, Pixel?
Give me a diplomacy check or a knowledge. A handle animal or a diplomacy check. You can get a +4 because you have a familiar.
I'll give you a diplomacy check. 20 plus 13. 14.
Oh dear.
It kind of, like, you said hello, it meowed at you, and then it ignored you, it hopped off the table and kind of went up to Luudo and pawed at Luudo's leg. It looks up at you expectantly.
Ah, he wants more fish treats. Sorry, little guy. A lot of those things.
Okay, it kind of brushes up against your leg, but almost in a way like it dismisses you, and it's going back underneath the bed.
I see how it is.
I think it's familiar, she says.
I wonder whose.
I don't know.
If it's a familiar, it's going to be able to tell its master all about us, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think its master was Gaedran. Gaedran was stupid. Really stupid.
No, its hair is all over this place. This is its home.
It lives here.
It lives here.
Maybe it lived here before Gaedran got here.
Keep your eyes peeled, then.
Uh-huh.
Is the chair magic?
The chair has very, very minor abjuration on it.
Yeah, it's sort of keep it from...
It's really big, it's stuffed.
Yeah. Fireproof. Something. Protected from the ages, perhaps. I'll have plenty of time to figure all these things out, is my...
Okay,
my
there
plan.
are there's a library of books. These books look like they've been selected specifically for specific topics. The one with all the familiars does stand out, like the little figurines
Yeah.
around it.
I'll open that one up and take a brief look through it.
Okay. This large tome seems to describe various rituals to summon familiars, including more powerful ones than normal.
Don't worry, Pixel. You're safe.
Brief,
The gift of my patron.
a brief look at this, that there might also be different rituals used by spellcasters who already have a familiar to augment them in different ways. It's not evident as to what some of these rituals do and would probably require some study before diving into.
Well, I don't think they'd miss this, do you?
Is there anything
They
that
might.
looks...
It's actually pretty obvious. Let's leave it.
Okay.
This is going to be my library anyway.
Is there anything that looks like it might be a spell book?
There are in total 13 books. And you've already opened one.
13 interesting books?
No, just total of 13 books.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Are we going to open the rest of the books first and look at what they are?
Spell books. If they're spell books, you might not want to open them up willy-nilly.
Okay, so there's one book on the shelf alone, and that
What?
bookshelf has no dust on it and no cat hair. It is completely clean.
That's interesting.
Cat hair.
If the cat avoids it, maybe I will avoid it.
It is a the cover of the book is made out of black glass. They call it the Book of Black Glass.
I have Mage Hand prepared. Shall I try and see if I can lift it?
thinking of something. I will summon the unseen servant to help me organize my notes while I'm sitting here on the ground.
Okay, the unseen servant appears and starts organizing notes by whether it has dirt on it or not.
Yeah. And then you've got a pile of notes in shitty origami form that you're like, maybe I will leave that for the unseen servant to do.
Yeah.
So you're like undoing origami.
Muttering to myself.
Okay, we're gonna call it the Book of Black Glass because you don't know what it is.
Is, and I'm going to make a note that the bookshelf has no dust with no cat hair
And completely clean.
So Zephyros casts Mage Hand to see if he can lift the book.
The Mage
25
Hand
feet.
disappears into the book, never to be seen again.
I'm gonna go pick it up.
It just goes. You felt it slip from your grasp, and the Mage Hand was like it was never cast.
That is interesting. Do we think that this book...
The cat, after that happened, went running out of the bed and is like hiding under one of the mystic crafting benches.
That does not look healthy.
You know the sound of like a candle being blown out? Kind of goes. There was that sound as it ate your magic.
What do you think, Forsyth? Shall we just leave this book be? Or do we attempt to take it somehow?
Try and touch it with your trunk.
Okay, I'll bite.
No,
Which shelf is it in?
you shouldn't.
It's just on one of the shelves. There are 13 books spread on their own separate shelf along these.
Okay.
I like you. I didn't mean it.
Zephyros walks closer just to see if he can feel anything. He's not touching anything or doing anything.
Grabbing the. Okay. There we
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I thought I drew something underneath, but I didn't. I thought I did.
All right. So what is it first doing?
He's just walking closer just to feel if he feels anything. I mean, he can't detect magic. He doesn't have that prepared, but he's just going there, seeing if he feels anything different in the environment.
Okay, so you
or
just
if
sort of
there's
pass your
sound if
trunk
he
near,
walks.
you pass your trunk near the book, and some of the hairs on the end of your trunk
Kind of bend towards the book.
like there's a slight
We'll call it a slight draft that's pulling towards the book.
The book wants me to touch it. That is never a good thing.
It's eaten up everything near it.
No, this book is not for eating and not for keeping.
I think I'm going to listen to the advice and take a step back
Ah, yes.
and leave it be. Are there any other interesting books on the shelf?
You've looked at 2 books. There are 11 other interesting books.
because they're all on their own shelf by themselves and
Look like they have been picked for particular properties or
the knowledge contained within.
Okay, so now luckily Mage Hand is a cantrip, which means I can cast it many times.
Yep.
So I'm going to cast Mage Hand and attempt to lift each book, just to see if there's a trap or something that triggers when we pick it up.
Okay.
None of the books are budged by the Mage Hand.
Can somebody detect magic on these books and see if they're emitting anything?
Presumably you can.
I don't have detect magic prepared. It's part of my opposition schools. So for me to prepare things like read magic,
Opposition for him. That means it was really expensive for you to cast detect secret doors.
correct.
Okay.
Detect secret doors. I've got read magic, detect secret doors, and identify. I have 3 opposition school spells prepared today.
Use a stick, says Ahmed.
I'll do it. Okay.
I'll detect magic on.
Each of the
on each of the
13 books has a wild and bewildering array of magic on the books. You found someone's magic book library.
They're all very magical.
Which is the reason why the mage armor or the mage hand doesn't pick them up. It's also why each of them are on their own shelf, and maybe the person doesn't need more books.
Yeah.
There are a couple of bookshelves that are empty.
They're there.
Like you could add more to this library if you wanted.
I am not sure how we're going to identify if any of these books are worth taking, but we also don't want to leave potential
One
knowledge.
interesting thing is that Gaedran didn't take them.
Yes. Well, Gaedran also had his magical abilities.
That's true.
So we do not know how he got them. He might have gotten some of them from these books.
Is Luudo over by the Luudo? just secretly in the
Find a
corner.
spoon.
Well, I wanted to pull that armor out of the water.
Oh, okay, yeah, you pull the armor out of the water, it's sorta clean.
Maybe I'll hit the red, make it hot, and put it back in.
Okay, yeah, you hit the red button and there's a flash and it's the gem and it's now a really, really warm water.
Place it back in.
Okay, you're washing up the armor.
Yeah, I'm gonna run over the alchemy bench, see if I see anything that would be interesting to me.
Yeah, the alchemy equipment is
Is
like
it just
very
equipment?
precise.
No components?
Yeah, there's 2,000 gold pieces worth of alchemy.
Oh, right, yes.
Like that could be used for spells, could be used for potions, or could be used for alchemical items.
Cool.
Like you could craft the hell out of at this bench.
Do any of these books have anything written on them on the outside? Maybe identifying them. So in other words, can we tell whether this is a printed book or a labeled book of some kind, or?
Do any of them have print? Yes. One of them has writing on it that you do not recognize.
And the rest do not, which means they're likely written
It's
by
a weird book in that it's got this weird kind of like shiny cover that is just wrapping what looks like a very thin but sturdy looking binding. And it's got some kind of like, you're not too sure, like somebody painted something into the shiny cover, and it's got words along the spine and words along the front and some pictures of like a bunch of like celestial bodies splayed across the top of it.
Is there anything lying around that I can use to poke some of these books with?
There's a poker that's used for the fireplace that's lying on the ground where Luudo left it.
So Zephyrus goes and picks up the poker.
Is it for eating or keeping?
Says Mokrenom.
Right now, it's for interrogating.
Okay.
And he basically hops off of you and is just sort of like undulating, happy, knowing that eventually you'll let him eat or keep something.
So Zephyrus uses the poker and just takes one of the books at random. He doesn't pick any particular one, and he just knocks it over.
With the color. Well, which one is it? Which slot? I'm going to basically pull out of my ass 13 cool books. So the third book, we'll call it Strange Worlds on cover, strange title on spine, and it has a dust cover, but you're not too sure what that is because you've never seen a book with a dust cover on it.
A book with a dust cover.
Yeah, it's like a modern. What I'm describing is a modern book with a dust cover, and the book's about this big, thin, with a hard spine.
It's like Harry Potter.
It's got fucking like weird looking planets kind of all splayed across the top in an artistic form. It has weird lettering that you don't know the language of along the spine and along the top, and that's the only one that is labeled with writing.
What is the point of a dust cover? Like, I get it, dust cover. It seems really self-explanatory, but like...
It's where you put the advertising on it.
Yeah, but what is really the point of this thing? Is it just easier to print on these little pieces of paper? Is that the whole reason these things exist?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And the dust cover is just a red herring to throw us off the trail?
think
What
we
you
may have
do
uncovered
see,
a secret
what
of the
you do
universe.
see as little ornaments around it are what look like little globes, and the globes look like planets, and they all have different continent configurations, and they're little miniatures of globes all around this book.
Well, let's take that one. It sounds interesting enough. Let me.
Okay.
I'll poke that one and see if it falls over.
Oh, you're just poking it?
Yeah.
There's a plastic crinkle as you hit the top of the book. Nothing happens. It moves
nothing
to the
happens.
shelf. Yeah, nothing magical happens.
Okay, Zephyrus,